Thank you, Jane. Good evening and welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. Remembering Harvey, hundreds of people gathered in Sheffield for the funeral of the teenager who was stabbed to death at school.
When something happens like this, it's a surprise in Sheffield. Sheffield's not the kind of place that this sort of thing happens.
His family and friends vow to campaign against knife crime. Also tonight, parents criticise cuts to school transport in North Yorkshire. The council says it has to save money.
3, 2, 1.
He's ready. We meet the sports coach from Scarborough who's powering ahead of the competition in this season's Gladiators. Gaming with Grandma, the Yorkshire Games Festival comes to Bradford.
And it's been very mild out there today with strong winds and outbreaks of rain. But how's it looking over the weekend? I'll have the very latest towards the end of the programme.
Good evening and thank you for joining us this Friday night. Hundreds of people gathered in Sheffield this afternoon to remember 15-year-old Harvey Wilgoose. The teenager was stabbed to death at a school in the city just over 2 weeks ago. As his family prepared to say their final goodbyes, his mum described her son as a social butterfly who brought joy to everyone he met, but said today was something no mother or father should be doing. Well, Ollie Constable is in Sheffield for us and joins us now from outside the cathedral. Ollie.
Amanda, you could tell just how popular Harvey was by the amount of people who came down today. Up to 750 people were inside Sheffield Cathedral behind me, with many, many more spilling out into the courtyard here, where there was a live service being shown on a big screen. His mum, Caroline, said that this was the saddest day of her life as she vowed to make this send-off an amazing one, as Kathy Killick reports.
Sombre weather and a deeply sombre mood as Sheffield city centre paused to say goodbye to one of its young sons. Harvey Wilgoose was just 15, a Sheffield United fan who also loved cricket and fishing. Brought by dreadful circumstances to Sheffield Cathedral, his family hurt beyond words by his loss. Outside, crowds gathered in silence to pay their respects and watch his funeral service relayed on a screen.
None of us want to be here today. None of us want to be attending Harvey's funeral, but we are here, and we are here for each other.
Harvey died after being stabbed at All Saints Catholic High School on February the 3rd. Another 15-year-old boy has been charged with his murder. But the service focused not on his death, but his life. His sister Sophie reciting a poem she'd written for him.
Harvey, I hope you can see just how loved you are by countless hearts, both near and far. Though some here never knew your face, they felt your light, your love, your grace. Your smile, your laughter, they still light the way. In every memory, you're still with us each day.
With poignant and personal stories, Harvey was remembered as a young lad full of joy and endless laughter, loving and close to his family, and much loved by his cousin Lana, who paid this tribute to him.
Harvey had a unique way of bringing joy to those around him. I remember countless moments spent together filled with laughter and adventure. Whether it was his infectious smile or his ability to even make the simplest moments feel special, he had a gift for making everyone feel valued and loved.
I know he was a lad that was full of life, and that's what everybody said about him. You know, somebody that's been loved right across the city, the number of people from different schools, different parts of South Yorkshire that have come out and said they knew him, they loved him, and they really cared about him. And I think that's what the family want to be remembered about him, just how full of life he was as a young man.
Friends posed for a moment outside the cathedral. Harvey's family have vowed to work relentlessly to eradicate knife crime, and Harvey's friends are clearly eager to support them.
I feel like it's really good and that it's inspiring that so many people want to support like what's happened and how to stop knife crime and things.
Very heartwarming for a lot of people to come and pay respects, even if you didn't know him or if you just to obviously pay respects about not carrying knives around Sheffield anymore.
They were a good kid, fun, always smiling, never sad or out. Just enjoyed football, loved it.
At just 15, Harvey was barely beginning to navigate the complexities of adulthood, and now he never will. But his peers have been confronted with adult pain and powerlessness long before they should have. Cathy Killick, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Well, as you heard there, at 15 he clearly touched many people's hearts. His family are keen for his legacy to be a positive one. A charity will be set up in his name, they say, as they hope to work relentlessly to ensure schools are a safe place for all children to go to, as they hope to eradicate knife crime. Harvey was a boy full of joy, today surrounded by people who loved him so very much.
Ollie, thank you very much, and of course our thoughts are with Harvey's friends and family. You're watching Friday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme.
We'll be asking what is to become of Farsley Celtic Football Club. They need to relay a new pitch to replace this waste ground before the end of March and might not even make it until the end of the current season. We'll have more on the story shortly.
Some more news from around the region now, and police searching for a 91-year-old man from Huntingdon in York have released a new image of him 7 days after he was last seen. Fraser Tuddenham often wears a dark winter coat and Russian-style fur hat that is seen in this image. Officers have been searching the Strensel area where they say he regularly walks and have found his car in the common car park. They're urging anyone who might have seen him to get in touch. A teenager who climbed scaffolding and fell from a rooftop in York died as a result of misadventure, an inquest has heard. 19-year-old Harry Callum had been on a night out in June last year when he and 2 friends accessed a construction site on Davygate to look at the views across the city. The hearing in Northallerton heard there were no suspicious circumstances surrounding his death. A child has suffered serious injuries in a collision involving a car on a busy main road in Leeds. The incident happened yesterday just before 4 o'clock on the A647 Stanningley bypass near Richard Shaw Lane. An 11-year-old boy believed to be a pedestrian needed hospital treatment, police said. The road was closed for several hours and inquiries are continuing. A West Yorkshire care home has been rated inadequate and put into special measures. Elmhurst Care Home in Bradford was inspected by the Care Quality Commission after concerns were raised by staff members. It found residents were at risk from unsafe care, there was a closed culture and poor morale. The company that runs the home, Bron Hall Care Limited, says it's working hard to address the issues. The family of Yorkshire photographer Liz Hatton are hoping to hit a fundraising milestone. The 17-year-old from Harrogate died in November from a rare cancer called desmastoplastic, small round cell tumour. She spent the last months of her life pursuing a photography bucket list. Her family are set to reach £100,000 in her memory at a special event this weekend.
Anyone who is fancying brunch, lunch or afternoon tea this weekend and is in the Harrogate area, come along to Fewston Parochial Hall. Whatever we raise will be incredible and get us a little bit closer to that 100,000 goal and that first piece of research, which would be utterly incredible.
Now, campaigners against changes to home-to-school transport in North Yorkshire say they're determined to persuade the council to go back to the old system. The new service would mean children only qualify for free transport to their nearest school. North Yorkshire Council says home-to-school transport is costing £51 million a year and savings have to be made. Claudia Robinson reports.
Under the new changes, the council will only provide free buses to and from a child's nearest school rather than using the traditional catchment area system. The new policy came into force last September but has so far only affected children moving house when another school becomes closer to them. But campaigners say the real impact will be from this September when the changes will apply to children starting primary and secondary school for the first time.
We have 13 children in year 6 and theoretically they could be going to 5 different schools. So they've spent their whole of their school careers at Reith and Gunnerside schools, and then they're just going to be separated. So in terms of the community, it's just got a huge impact.
As it stands, even if a child moves house a short distance away, they no longer qualify for free home-to-school travel if a different school becomes closer. So in order for that child to stay at their existing school, the family has to cover the annual cost of around £800. 15-year-old Oscar is studying for his GCSEs at Richmond School and currently qualifies for free home-to-school transport, but his family is shortly moving from a village in the Dales to nearby Reeth, just 4 miles away.
It leaves you with a real feeling of uncertainty of not only my future, but you know, kids go to school, they have friends, it's where they socialise mainly, and to have that taken away from you, as I say, that feeling of uncertainty, it's really not fair.
We invited North Yorkshire Council to talk to us about the issue, and they sent us this statement.
We understand parents' concerns, but with severe budget pressures and a £14 million government funding cut, tough choices are necessary. We can only fund transport to the nearest school, ensuring we manage escalating costs while retaining support to the families and pupils who need it the most. This new policy creates a fairer system for parents and children and brings us in line with many other councils. Unfortunately, a more generous offer is no longer an option.
The council has committed to a review of the policy in summer 2026, but campaigners say they'll continue to fight for it to reinstate the catchment system before then and hope to get the policy back in front of the council as soon as possible. Claudia Robinson, BBC Look North, Fremington.
Let's have some sport now, and whether it's promotion or relegation, we often ask our various teams, will they get what they want by the end of the season? Well, tonight we're asking, will one of our most famous non-league teams actually make it until the end of the season? Farsley Celtic, that is. Paul Ogden is at their Throstle Nest home. What's the issue exactly, Oggy? Do tell.
Well, it's a complicated subject, Amanda, as usual. The truth is that here, the Citadel, they call it these days, Throstle Nest, the home of Farsley Celtic traditionally, is still the headquarters, but the team doesn't play its matches here. For operational reasons, you will not believe where, for example, tomorrow's home match against top-of-the-table Chester is going to take place. I can even illustrate it for you on a map. Yep, it's really true that Farsley Celtic, one of the most traditional Yorkshire non-league clubs, sitting right here in the suburbs of both Leeds on the west side and Bradford on its east side, they've got to travel 69 miles to Buxton for operational reasons to play their home matches. Not least because Farsley have got no pitch at the moment outside this clubhouse where I'm actually talking to you from. So many questions tonight for supporters to ask to the board, and one of the people who's going to be fielding those questions is our guest tonight, John Wickham, Chief Executive. With a lot on your plate, John, biggest concern surely is with that distance for home matches to travel, how much of a danger is it that Farsley Celtic are going to completely lose touch with their own community?
Mate, it's a massive danger. We know we need to get it back to his home ground as soon as we can. It wasn't ideal, obviously, but it was kind of a hand that we were dealt, and we've had to deal with it. So best we can. The idea is to get back here as quick as we can, and bring the fans back through the door. Yeah.
Your fundraising operation, John, involves urgently trying to find 25,000. I'm pleased to say you found £11,000 already. But what is the most urgent item on the agenda? What's that money need to be used for in the short term?
We need to get a pitch down as soon as we can. I mean, that's our first aim, but ultimately as well to pay everyone off, all the debts that are throughout the club, from the staff to the players and everything else in between. So there's a big list of urgency, but the first port of call is to get the pitch down. We've got no choice but to get that pitch down.
Absolutely. To say nothing of creditors that the club is bound to have, operational costs. My understanding is you're paying a couple of £1,000s each time you play at Buxton as a sort of short-term rental agreement. Briefly, John, how much of a threat is there of administration? Farsley Celtic having to go into administration or even liquidation in the short term?
It's a massive threat. I mean, you know, anyone knows if you've not got your supporters coming through the door, generating money, it's a massive threat. But we won't allow that to happen. As a board of volunteers, we will not allow that to happen. You know, the only way is up for this football club. So, yeah, just watch this space.
Yeah, and your determination is very persuasive. Good luck to you from all of us, John. A Farsley lad with the club at heart. Just to remind you, Sheffield Wednesday at Burnley tonight in the Championship live on BBC Radio Sheffield. Back to you. Good luck to Farsley Celtic.
Good luck indeed, thank you, Oggy. Now it's a romantic gesture to symbolise love, attaching a padlock or love lock, as it's known, to a bridge or fence. But in one Derbyshire town, the love almost turned to heartbreak. The thousands of love locks on a bridge in Bakewell became so heavy that they had to be removed. But it's a happy ending, as Steve Beach reports.
I said it was about 5 tonnes.
Yeah, but you didn't want the council to know, did you?
We didn't want the council to know that.
No, but actually it's more like 7 tonnes.
Last-minute preparations ahead of the big reveal. These love locks used to be on a footbridge in Bakewell. But this is how the bridge looks now. The council said urgent repairs were needed and the locks had to go. But one man was determined they wouldn't be melted down.
The letters of support I've had with people sharing their private and intimate stories just made me work harder and harder. And we could not let the council melt them down. Every lock is a memory of somebody, a couple, a dear departed loved one. Some of the locks that mean the most to me are the children, the short-dated ones.
Richard then approached Thornbridge Hall. It offered a new home for the locks in a purpose-built locker.
It means so much to people, and I see the emotion in them, and it makes me quite tearful too. And they go very quiet. They go very quiet. They might reach for their lock and touch it, and they've found. But it isn't just about that lock. It's about every memory that's associated with it. And I just feel it's a great privilege to be there to make it happen for them. Open!
And it wasn't long before one couple found their special lock. 25th of the 3rd, 2022, almost 3 years ago. How much do you remember that day?
Quite a lot. It was our wedding day.
Wedding day.
Yeah.
On your wedding day?
Yeah, in Bakewell.
Third anniversary soon. How does it feel to find this lock after all this time?
Good. Somebody else just found it for us. We gave them a picture of it and they found it for us.
The collection continues to grow day by day. But for anyone who does find the lock they left on the bridge, there's a special way to celebrate. Steve Beach, BBC Look North, Thornbridge Hall in Derbyshire.
OK, now for something a little bit different. Studio ready. Viewers at home ready. Yes, it's Gladiators time. But were you watching last weekend? If so, you'll remember 23-year-old Joe Fishburne from Scarborough. Not only did he take part in the BBC TV show Gladiators, but he managed to break the show record on the Eliminator. He's joining us in just a moment to tell us what it takes to be part of the show. But first, let's have a look at him in action.
I'm Joe, I'm 23 years old. Originally, I'm from Scarborough, and I'm a Team GB gymnast and gymnastics coach. When I was 2, unfortunately, I lost my mum. My amazing grandma took care of me. She did everything just to make sure that I got all these opportunities that I've had in life.
I love him dearly.
Oh, I love you too.
And he's just, well, he's just my boy.
Please welcome Joe and Junior. You've ruined that for me now. I was going to do that. Where's Christine? There she is.
Gymnastic Joe has excellent body control, and he'll need it to speed through the sharp turns. Contender, ready!
3.
Joe looks sharp as he races into action. He's closing, but he's missed the tag. Joe grabs the flag.
You'll go on my first whistle.
So here we go. It's the gymnast versus the dancer. He can't look back. Eyes firmly fixed forward. And look at the clock. Can he beat the Eliminator record of 1 minute 4 seconds? He's done it with just 1 second to spare.
Wow, Joe, I'm exhausted just watching that. That's incredible. Now, you are a Team GB gymnast. This is in your blood. Did it help on the show?
I think the time spent as a Team GB gymnast and obviously the traits and characteristics we kind of embody in training obviously helped translate into the events and the show. I've always been involved in rugby and gymnastics alongside each other, so I think that maybe people are a little bit unsuspecting of kind of the ability to obviously be flexible and nice and fast and explosive, but also to be able to take a big hit or a hit in the contact games that are involved in the show as well.
Now, it is a family show, but was it as competitive as it looks?
It is. It's a great family sit-down show, but it can get competitive. It is brutal out there. when you're in the moment. And you've got to remember, we're going against the Gladiators, who are elite level performers, professional athletes in their realms. So they're competitive, and the contenders are strong as well.
And you broke a record, just tell us about that.
So yeah, I was lucky enough to get through the Eliminator, which is the end event where you go head to head with the other contender, dependent on how many points you've scored, in the quickest time that it's ever been done since Series 1, as it's changed over the past, but yeah.
So you made a little bit of history there, and I am sure you have a legion of new fans, but before we talk about the fans, there's a lifelong fan out there, isn't there? Tell me about Grandma Christine.
Christine is amazing. She took over the responsibility for bringing me up from when I was 2, when I lost my mum Claire, who you saw then, and everything I do is for her. She's amazing, and I just wanted the opportunity to showcase our story and just how amazing she is and my family have been in bringing me up and giving me opportunities.
I'm sure you're making us so proud.
Oh,
just tell us now about what you've got going forward now. Quarterfinals, what else?
So yeah, we get another go. We get to go on again. We get to go back up against the Gladiators in more events, another Eliminator for the quarterfinals of the show. And then alongside, I'm doing my coaching. I was in the gym this week, lots of excited gymnasts asking me lots of questions.
I've got to say, they must be so proud of you, the little children.
Oh, I think it's just great. They get so inspired and they get so invested in the show, and I've had such a great response on social media, people saying that they resonate with my story or my background, which is why I wanted to get on the show and spread the word of my story. And they're saying that they've been moved by it, or they just love Christine. She was telling me she was getting shouted at when she was doing the shopping this week, which made me smile.
Joe, I know you're going to go far, and you've definitely got a new fan in me, and I'll be watching with interest at those quarterfinals.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, definitely want to watch. Now, thousands of computer game fans have been in Bradford this week for the Yorkshire Games Festival, a celebration of all things gaming. This half-term, there has been a focus on kids and grandparents playing together using Mario Kart to bridge the generational divide. Kathy Minton has been to join in the fun.
If you've got children, there's a fair chance you'll have told them to get off their computer games at some point this half-term. But here at the Bradford Media Museum, gaming is actively encouraged. It's the Yorkshire Games Festival. This free event has proved incredibly popular, with young and old logging on to spend time together. And the family favourite, Mario Kart, has become an intergenerational battle zone.
I enjoyed it, I really did. I could see how I could become addicted to it, so maybe I should stay off it.
And do you think you might play against Grandma when you get home?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it the start of a new
It is. I think it could be a new challenge, don't you?
Yeah.
A bit of a competition between
As soon as
us.
we get home, that track.
Yeah.
You were playing for ages. You were going for a personal best. Competitive much?
Just a little bit, yes. Yeah.
How nice is it to play computer games with your mum and your gran?
Pretty good, but it annoys you sometimes when they're doing stuff that isn't very good in it.
Do you think they could be better?
Yeah.
What did you make of Mario Kart there?
I'm not very good at it.
Girls, is she telling the truth?
Yeah.
We've just seen that very talented young lady getting the leaderboard top spot, 137. Of course I'm going to try and beat her. Let's go. Yes. Come on. Come on. Woo! Oh no, 206. I'm miles up. I'm on the board. I'm on the board. And it's not just Nintendo. These games are all made by local developers. The festival is a chance for them to test out their creations.
It was quite strange. It was like a bizarre cartoon world of basketball.
I do prefer scary games, but games like this, they just calm me.
We really want to inspire people through play, and especially sort of like cross-generational play. So we want to get the kids involved, the grandparents involved, all of that kind of, the whole family basically, getting them inspired to play games and make games.
The Yorkshire Games Festival is on all weekend. After that, it's game over. Kathy Minton, BBC Look North, Bradford.
Well, that's some inspiration for inside activities, but what about outside, Katerina? I am hoping you're going to deliver some sunshine.
Well, I think the better day of the weekend is going to be Saturday.
Okay.
Really horrible on Sunday. But today, it has been quite cloudy, as you can see from our first picture here. It's been windy too. Now, this photo really made me smile.
Makes me smile too.
I just wanted to show you. Don't the swans look like they're posing?
They're gorgeous.
Look at this one with a little side pose.
They're absolutely. I think we should get some names for them.
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
Kat and Amanda. And then the second photo, yeah, you can really see how wet it is out there. It's muddy. There's a lot of puddles, and there's going to be more rain around through this weekend, I'm afraid. The bad day, the worst day is going to be Sunday. Lovely on Saturday. So thank you as always for sending in your pictures. If you'd like your picture on the telly, you can send it in to us via social media. The details are on your screens now. So as mentioned, the better day over the weekend is going to be a Saturday. At the moment, it's looking mostly dry. There is just a chance of a few isolated showers further south. And then Sunday, we are expecting a deep area of low pressure, which I'll just show you in just a second. That's going to work its way in from the west. You can see the isobars are not so tightly packed tomorrow. So a day of lighter winds, mostly dry conditions. But here's the area, the deep area of low pressure that's going to work its way in on Sunday, bringing outbreaks of rain and strong winds. We actually do have a weather warning in force for those strong winds on Sunday. So showery rain will clear out there tonight. Clear spells to follow. Under those clear skies, our temperatures will fall away to around 7 degrees. So a mild start to our Saturday morning. So your next high waters then, we have Scarborough at 10:26 tomorrow morning, and then Filey at 5 minutes past 11. So Saturday, there'll be variable amounts of clouds, some sunny spells, actually some good sunny spells developing through the day. Overall, those winds will be lighter, just a few isolated showers across South Yorkshire. Elsewhere, we are going to stay dry, and temperatures staying in double figures for us tomorrow. So mild, 12-13 degrees, well above average for this time of the year. And here's the warning I was just talking about a little bit earlier. This warning is valid on Sunday from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. It's a warning for strong winds. Gusts could exceed 50 miles per hour on Sunday, and temperatures will fall away next week.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Katerina. So Saturday is the day to get out and about.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you very much from Katerina and me and the Swans. Do have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.